This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great comp hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective. All right, welcome to the podcast today. Today, I'm in just outside of Batesville, Arkansas, sitting here with Mr. Todd Coles. How's it going?
Good.
Man, I'm glad to have you on here. We come down here because I've had some bad luck with some puppies and ended up getting a puppy from you, a female puppy from you, and we're sitting outside here, and it's nice weather for the end of June, that's for sure.
Very much.
Yeah. So you may hear some birds in the background and might even hear a dog tree every now and then.
Yeah. I think Fiddle and Honey was treed out there.
Yeah. So, Mr. Todd, why don't you just kind of, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, that type of thing.
Well, I'm Todd Coles, here in Batesville, Arkansas. Got these little booster squirrel dogs, Fiest. Probably about it there.
So, I want to talk about these dogs because I kind of got introduced to this type of dog. It's probably been 3 or 4 years ago. It wasn't exactly your line, but I've since been introduced to your line through Ben Sheets, and that's kind of how I found about you, and me and you kind of connected there. But I want to go back, and I know you've been on a few podcasts and talked about these dogs, but what I want to talk about was prior to this, I know me and you've had a discussion. You was a coon hunter at one time, and what I'd like to do is figure out, where did Todd Coles first come up on a tree dog at?
Well, I've been around tree dogs somewhat all my life. One of my first memories, youngest memories I can remember, my great-grandpa, great-uncle, they was big coon hunters, and I remember one night they got me out of bed. I was a little bitty feller, and it's still carbide lights then, and the dogs had a coon in a holler tree right there close to my great-grandpa's house, and took me to see the coon. And I don't know, I guess that struck something with me. But
that kind of got you hooked, huh?
It did. And of course, teenage years, I chased girls, whatever. Wasn't too much interested in it, but got a little older and married, settled down, and I got into coon dogs wanting a squirrel dog.
Okay.
My ex-wife's uncle had an old black and tan hound. She'd got caught in a trap and had one front leg all curled up and couldn't use. She had a litter of puppies and had trouble, had to be spayed. But he said, take her, she'll tree a squirrel. So I took her. Well, somehow I figured out she'd tree a coon too. And I got to coon hunting her. And you know how it is, you always want something little.
Yeah.
And through that, I wound up, got a blue tick pup from somebody, and she made a decent dog. And then I got hooked up with a guy over at Tuckerman, it's about an hour from here, over in the Flatland, named Fred Shipman. And he hunted English dogs. And that's what got me started with English dogs. He had an old male called Red Oak Red. If I had any sense, that would have turned me away from coon hunting. He is one of them dogs, you turn him loose, he was going to go somewhere and find one.
Find one, yeah.
And most generally, it was probably the roughest, old nastiest one you could find.
Yeah.
I've went into patches of woods just trying to get him out so we could go home, and he was plenty open on trail and all like that, but if you got in there close, he'd shut up.
Huh.
And I found that dog laying behind logs hiding from me.
Really?
Yeah, and you walk on past him, he'd get up and
go on
with the track. But
Wow.
he wasn't going to get caught.
Yeah.
But that dog's kept me out till daylight a bunch.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
But you had Fred there, and there was another gentleman just lived down the road from him. It is a little community over at Tuckerman called Battle Axe, right on the Black River.
Okay.
You may have heard of this guy's name. It was Bill Crumpton, and this would be, in the late '80s. And Bill, he was what we just called him an old river rat. He lived so many feet within a riverbank was public domain.
Yeah.
And he built a house on barrels on the side of Black River. You could sit in his living room and look down into Black River.
Oh my goodness.
And his dog pens all had wood floors on barrels, because when the river got out,
yeah,
everything was cabled off the trees. It just flowed up.
Wow.
And Bill, me and Fred never, hit anything that made any noise, really.
Yeah.
Bill did a little bit. And what we hunted, a lot of the pennies, bloodline stuff back then and everything, but somehow Fred, he caught wind that Eugene Boyd had found a male dog down in Mississippi that was straight out of the old cross that they did with Boyd's Little Joe and Williams Blue Goose.
Okay.
And they called the dog Mingus Smoky Joe.
Okay.
And we wound up and took a jip out there and bred. And that got a female I had called Goose. She was a nice little dog. She was, she probably wasn't a first tree dog, but she's going to be a first strike dog.
Mm-hmm.
She'd go find something. And what I really liked about her, you turn her out with a bunch of dogs or turn her out with some other dogs, she's going to go hunting and get struck. And she wasn't one that, you unsnap, she goes to bark, and she's going to go find something.
Yeah.
But you hunt her by herself, she'd hunt like a cur dog.
Huh.
She close.
Yeah.
And everything, and she wasn't. I bet she didn't weigh 35 pounds. A little old bitty English dog, black, ticked up with black spots, and just pretty nice little dog.
Mm-hmm.
I kept her around here a long time, and we had a little bit of. We had another buddy, Don Riley. He bred a jip to what was that dog? Blue Boy Red.
Okay.
And we hunted a little bit of stuff off that too. It was, like I say, you're asking me to go way back in the vault. I mean, we're talking the late '80s. I just looked. I won one, which I didn't get in many competition hunts at all, very few. I won one hunt, and I looked before you got here, and that was in 1990.
Okay.
And it wasn't long after that I started tailing off on the coonhounds, going more towards squirrel dogs.
Was that hunt like here local or?
Yeah, it was down close to Newport.
Okay.
But now I went to Autumn Oaks a couple of times.
Okay.
I didn't put anything in it, but I handled the dog for Fred.
Okay.
And we'd go out there, and we also went to the big St. Jude's hunt a couple of times out of Parsons, Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
that would, and the the goose dog I had, which I've told this on other podcasts, but probably most of the people listening didn't know as much about what we did, because like I say, we had Goose that her daddy was straight off the Boyd's Little Joe and Blue Goose cross.
Mm-hmm.
I was wanting to breed Goose, and I was wanting to breed. It'd been 91, and you'll know why I know that here in a minute, but it was right after the Little Swinging Tap Dog won World Champion English.
Yep.
And the bottom side, he was Boyd's Little Joe Williams Blue
Yep.
Goose. So I was wanting to breed her to him. And the reason I remember it so well is when she was ready to breed, me and my wife took her up there on our honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
And got her bred.
Yeah.
So,
how did that work out?
well, she's still here. You've seen that. So.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Mine's over there messing with that puppy, but I can about assure you that would have been a short marriage if I'd done that on the honeymoon.
Well, I mean, better start out with everything out in the open.
I guess so. I guess everything was out in the clear. So, at that time, was you still messing with a squirrel dog at all, or were you just 100% coon hunting?
I was coon hunting, but I started all my hounds on squirrels.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually lived, from where we're at now, I lived across the highway over there then.
Okay.
And that old, what we call a mountain, sure enough, mountain people would laugh at us over that. But I'd be up there every evening with a pup.
Okay.
And really, that's kind of what got me back geared towards a squirrel dog, because I could get them treeing squirrels like crazy. And I just make a better squirrel dog than I could a coon dog.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So whenever you, I guess, started transitioning out of coon dogs, was you squirrel hunting a hound, or did you move to a cur, or did you move to these little dogs?
No, I've always been a small dog.
Okay.
From since the hounds.
Okay.
I've had a few curs, but nothing that has stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against them. I've hunted with some cur dogs I would love to own.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody would, but I've just not been able to find one that I can take and handle the way I handle these dogs,
right,
and get the same results.
Yeah. So whenever you, I guess, as you quit coon hunting, what was your first squirrel dog you had there?
Little dog called Spaz.
Okay. Was he a small one like this, or?
Yeah, actually, he probably wasn't as big as these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a little bitty dog, but he done real well. He started treeing I think he treated his first squirrel about 8 months old.
Okay.
And would have been a lot better squirrel dog than he made if I'd known more about what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in leaving a pup alone and letting them do their thing. But there is some situations that you can affect. I mean, my biggest fault with him was if he hit something he couldn't tree or was having a real rough time with, I'd just sit down and let him waller it when I should have been, so let's go on and find something a little better. And if I'd have done that, he'd have been a bad little dog.
So you have the Spaz dog. Is that the only dog you got at the time, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the only dog I had, and and it's wasn't very long that Booster came along.
Oh, at that same time.
Yeah.
Did you have them together? Or?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. One time I had them together,
okay.
And in fact, if Booster hadn't come along, I'd probably had Spaz till he died.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just we talked about the coon hunting. there, and just so the audience that are listening, the dogs that we're talking about are a brindle, tree, and Fiest. I guess they all. I mean, you showed me some lighter colors today, but they all got some brindle on them.
Yeah. No, I will every now and then have some yellow to red color.
Yeah.
Solid without any brindle, but that's not very.
Right.
I've got certain crosses that'll throw that, and the reason being is way back there in the background, there's actually a lot of Kimmer blood in these dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And like on the Boston Boom Pie cross, when I make it, every time I've done that, there's been at least one pup. When they're born, they're a buttermilk color,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll wind up and go yellow by the time they're grown, darken up a little bit.
Well, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think breeding dogs, whether it's these little dogs or hounds or whatever, I think it translates, from one to the other. And are you up to 7 or 8, or how many times are you breeder of the year now?
It's 7 now.
7, okay. I know. I think I listened to a podcast and you were 5 and then 6, and I think when we come down and bred my little female, you were at 6, so I guess you won one since I've been here.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I got it again this year, and I mean that in my little world, that I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says something about what you're breeding here, and people heard me joke. I call them my little mini plots,
mm-hmm.
and I kind of pick it. Bred about it a little bit, and the thing that I like about them is, I mean, I think if you wanted to make a coon dog out of them, they would, because these little dogs, I mean, they're gamey. They'll get after whatever you want them to get after.
They will, and I tree a lot of coons in the daytime.
Yeah.
When I'm squirrel hunting them, and we go past that, every now and then we'll get a bobcat up the tree.
Yeah.
Last night, I was getting ready to go to bed, which I had everything up. Normally, Peggy should be out. She's in heat.
Yeah.
I got her in the heat pen, but she keeps them up a bush if they come around. But
yeah.
I heard all the dogs raising Cain, so I walked out on the back porch with my thermal, and I seen 3 coons run up a tree out back here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I mean, they're going to tree them if they're there.
Yeah, my of course, you got to see my Lee female, and we had a terrible
mm-hmm.
accident with her and lost her. And,
yeah.
But now she absolutely hated a coon.
Yeah.
I mean, she hated a coon, and she would definitely get after one. But what I find interesting is, especially in the hound world now, and there's a lot of X breeding going on,
mm-hmm.
and not that there's anything wrong with it. There's a lot of guys doing it and being real successful with it. But you do a lot of line breeding.
Yes.
And I wanted to touch on that just a little bit and kind of explain how you like to go about it and kind of how you make your crosses.
Well, that's kind of, in a way it's easy, and in a way it's kind of hard to explain, because, I mean, it all just has kind of fell in place. I really don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I do know, and I may have said this in another podcast, but this goes way back. I mean, you see with the cross I did on the hounds,
mm-hmm.
I was thinking line breeding then.
Yeah.
And what it goes back to is an article in an old American Cooner magazine that I read years ago. In fact, it was a 1983 edition.
Okay.
And I mean, they was talking about blue ticks, and it was somebody that knows way more about genetics than I do. And the way he put it was, you cross 2 blue ticks that on paper are unrelated.
Okay.
So there's so many different ways for the chromosomes to pair up and form genes that, you know, other than what makes them blue ticks, that there may not be two puppies really genetically related come out of that. Well, all right. At some point, something made them blue ticks, so there's line breeding, inbreeding somewhere.
Right.
Went on, you know, who knows when. But you take and apply that to these dogs. They come from such a diverse background. I don't see any way you can hope for any consistency in breeding if you don't line breed.
Gotcha. Yep.
You know, now this is just my theory. I mean, I've been line breeding these dogs for 30 years now, and you know, you can kind of tell they're my dogs.
Oh yeah. You can definitely pick them out of a pack.
And you know, I'll use Jody Mullins as an example. Jody's done the same thing longer than I have, and he, you know, you could tell his dogs. And by today's standards, you know, I've got 100% purebred grade A American Fiest. And so does Jody Mullins.
Yeah.
Well, when you take Jody's started from a whole different situation than what mine started from.
Yeah.
And you cross them, now, yeah, you can get very good dogs. But like I say, in my opinion, what you're doing is creating a new mutt.
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
put it in simple terms. And, and like I say, there's some very good dogs come out of those situations.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the more you stay, well, I mean, just another theory I have, with them being from such a diverse background, what triggers this line to tree may not be the same thing that triggers this other line to tree.
Right.
And when you cross them two, it may gel, or you may actually be cutting in half what triggers each one of them to tree.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I'm not a geneticist or.
Well, but I mean, when you've been doing it this long, and I mean, you're sitting here and you got all these puppies running around here now, and you can look at them and see that you know, all their traits are. I mean, they may be a little bit different color here or there, or brindle one more brindle than the other, but all their traits are pretty much the same. And I've got two at my house that's out of your stuff. My male dog, and then of course my boy, he's got a male dog, and you can just look at those dogs, and then you come down here and look at these puppies or these dogs that you got in a pen, and you can see that, you know, the line breeding over the years is definitely there, because you can see the traits. And that's kind of what I guess, you know, maybe even, God, I hate to even give him very much credit, but talking to Brett, you know, that's one of the things I think he likes to line breed, outcross, then come back in. And he says because he knows what to expect.
Right.
You know, when you go get something else that you're not messed with, then you don't know what you got.
Well, I have to agree with him.
Yeah. Don't give him too much credit, though, because his head will swell up and we'll never hear the end of it.
I wished he'd come down here so I could have met him. But, yeah, and, you know, and like I say, you know, this is just my theories and my way of doing things, and it works for me. It may not work for the next guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll be honest with you, if I hadn't lucked into booster, I don't know if my luck would have been the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you could breed whatever you wanted to breed booster to, and you're just going to get some squirrel dogs.
Yeah.
And you know, I've, like I say, I'm no geneticist, but I've found a few web pages you can punch some stuff, you know,
right
in, and it'll spit some numbers back out at you. And some of these crosses I'm making now, according to that, I'm still running better I mean, these puppies running around here right now are still running a little bit better than 40% booster blood.
Yeah.
And he's been gone 20 years.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good for sure. Well, we're talking about Booster. Let's talk a little bit about. I'd like for you to tell the story how you got him, and then of course I want you to tell some stories because I've heard you tell stories and I've heard you tell stories on podcasts and the way he was. I think a lot of houndsmen could relate to because we've probably had a dog like that a time or two.
Yeah, of course you put me on the spot on some stories. But how I got him, I mean, it's just one of those stroke of luck deals. There was a lady had a beauty shop just down the road from me here, and she'd cut my hair, and I was in there on one Saturday morning getting a haircut, and there's another guy in there, had his wife there. He got talking. Of course, I said something about squirrel dogs, and he's all about that, and he wanted to know if I had any pups. Well, I'd raised a litter out of Spaz.
Okay.
And I told him I did, and he said, well, he just lived about 20 minutes the other side of me. He said, let me take her home, and I'll come back over and look them over. Well, he took her home. Here in a little bit, he come back, and we got down there looking, talking. He asked me what I wanted for him, and I told him. He said, I want to trade you. I said, what do you want to trade? He said, I got this dog. I stopped him right there. I said, I don't want your dog. Because I wasn't about that. And he said, no. He said, this is you. Finally, he said, I got a video of him in the truck. He said, I want you to watch it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing doing me watch that video. I told him, I said, I ain't trading you. Well, we went in the house, put the video in, and I'm telling you, they was this good-looking little brindle dog, just bowed up on a tree.
Yeah.
Just, spitting them out with a cat up it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, you don't need that dog. But I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, look at him.
Yeah.
And I said, will he tree a squirrel? Oh, yeah, he'll tree a squirrel. I said, will you show me he'll tree a squirrel? And he said, yeah. He said, let's go to the house. Well, it's the middle of the day, and we went over, and he has a pretty big place over there, but it mostly open, just some gullies through it, with trees and stuff. We turned him loose and went through there, and he kind of sort of treated a couple of squirrels, about the best you could say. But my goodness, he even looked better in person.
Yeah.
I mean, just a specimen to look at. Had no idea what he was. But I got to thinking about it. Man, dog looks like he is treeing a little bit for two puppies that may or may never.
Right.
I broke down, I did. And I asked him, I said, do you know what he's out of, anything? He said, no, not really. I said, he said he's supposed to have some big time something in him. I don't know. And, of course, at that time, Smith Streak was the rage in the cur dog world.
Yeah.
And River Run Fiest was tearing it up in the Fiest world. And I said, where'd you get him? And he said, I got him from a man named Mac McClendon down in Benton. I said, okay. I said, do you have his number? He said, yeah. So he gave me his number. And I come home. I called Mr. McClendon. And it was funny. He said, yeah. He said, I know the dog. He said, he'll never make a dog. And I said, well. And I said, okay. I said, do you know what he was out of? He said, well, his daddy was Streak. I said, okay. I said, so he's straight out of Smith Streak? Yeah. I said, well, where'd you get him? He said, I got him from Jake Parsons in Tennessee as a pup. Do you have Jake's number? He said, yeah. So I got Jake's number. So I turned around and I called Parsons, Tennessee. Or no, not Parsons. He lived in Pulaski. It's Jake. Parsons was his name. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, that dog's out of streak and my old baby female. Well, come to find out, baby is a litter mate to River Run Jewel and River Run Ruby, which is, in my opinion, the female that put the River Run dogs on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got real interested in him, and I started hunting him. And my goodness, he was something else. I mean, he'd go. I mean, if he did anything, he was either wide open or just there.
That's the way the 2 male dogs we got at the house is.
Yeah, well, you know where it comes from.
Yeah.
And I mean, he'd smoke a deer, and Lord of mercy, I mean, he just wild. And but you know, he might be running a deer, and in the middle of it, pop up treat on a squirrel. And, which I didn't have any type of electronics back then or anything. I'd head him off with a switch or this or that, and if he treed, I'd go kill it. And he finally just, you know, quit the deer inside the squirrels was what we was after.
Yeah.
And it didn't take that long to do it, but I'll say I had him in my crosshairs 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Just had to make myself not do it. But I mean, he was one of them dogs. He'd be sitting there, he'd left out on a deer, and you're sitting there waiting. Well, when's he gonna come back? And you know, he's got quiet. He's quit it. You know, and you're not paying any attention. You feel something, turn around and look, and he's behind you, just peeing down your leg or something. and you get back to the truck when you're done. You better have the tailgate down. Because if you take him back by the truck, he's going to load up.
Yeah.
And if tailgate wasn't down, he might come up over the hood and cab. I mean, he was doing it. And
doing it wide open, whatever he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just the type of dog he was.
Yeah.
He was, he wound up and he went blind. And I had him at the vet over that, and the vet thinks he got a lick on the head somewhere.
Okay.
That caused that, but it was funny. I won the Arkansas State hunt with him in I'd have to look to see what year it was, but I won the Arkansas State hunt with him. That was his last hunt, and he was already starting to
bump into stuff.
And all. But that was a pretty good way to go out there.
Yeah, I would say so. So Booster started it on that side. How did you decide what female to start all this with, or did you go through a couple before you actually settled?
Well, that's another. I'll tell you, I've been the luckiest guy that ever was as far as squirrel dogs goes. There's some people lived over here at Sandtown. Some of you may have heard of Donnie Presser over at Sandtown, so it's the same Sandtown. We're all kind of here together. But my stepdad was over there building a pond for them. And he come in telling me they had these little old Fiest dogs. So I get to talking to them, and what they was, it was Ed and Doris O'Neill was their name. Well, Doris's brother was a state trooper down in South Mississippi.
Okay.
And he was a squirrel hunter. And he had sent these 2 dogs up here as puppies to run loose on their place and get started, and he was going to take them back down there and hunt them. Well, Ed and Doris brought them up here and put them in a pen, and the only time they got out of the pen was to come in the house. They didn't get hunted, but I talked to, the trooper's name was David Heyman, And I talked to him, and they was river run bred dogs, just like, like Booster's mother.
Yeah.
And I got acquainted with them a little bit before Booster come along, actually. And we'd made a cross with Spaz.
Okay.
And that got a dog I called Hershey. And I bred Hershey to Booster, and that worked real well. In fact, your little puppy here goes back to that cross, top and bottom.
Okay.
And but we done that, and that got Hershey, like I say. Then after Booster come along, we bred the female they had to Booster, and that got Skittles, and that's the dog I won the world hunt with in 2001.
Okay.
So that was a really good cross, but I figured out there that Booster crossed back on the river run stuff worked really well, and that kind of geared me to staying that way through all of it, but it was just luck meeting these people and figuring out that it worked.
Yeah.
And being too broke to run all over the country to breed to whatever I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably as big a blessing as anything.
Yeah.
Just making do with what I had available.
Well, you definitely have kept it up and kept a consistent line. And like I said, other than Brett, well, I can't say a whole lot. Mine's laying there with her head hung over, knocked out cold. But Brett's little female dog, it's like their baby. He loves that thing. And then, of course, my boy's got the one that he's got, and I think he's going to make a really, really nice squirrel dog. He's if the squirrel can get up the tree, he can tree them. But the problem is they can't hardly get away from it fast enough. And then, of course, I had the little female that we call Tink, and people's heard the story. She got caught by an eagle, and which was just a freak deal. But she was really making a really, really nice dog. So,
I don't know if that eagle story is a freak of story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because my honey female. I didn't see it, but I would bet money an eagle got her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it didn't kill her. She's still here with us, but she's about 6 months old. I come in, and she was banged up, beat up, and she had some puncture marks in her side. And we'd been seeing an eagle around here at that time.
Oh yeah.
And I think it got her. But I mean, she was in pretty bad shape for a few days. It got her off the ground, dropped her, I guarantee you.
Yeah. So before we shut this down, if of course this is all audio, so if somebody was looking for one of these dogs and wanted to know what they look like, how would you describe what they were? Weight, size, color?
Height-wise, you males, they're going to run pretty much 18 to 16 inches, and their weight can vary a little bit on them. Normally, they're going to be, on average, 22 to 25 pounds, but some of my males will get up pushing 30 pounds. And, well, you can see with Boss and Toby here. But females, they're going to be more, under 25 for sure.
Yeah. And
they're going to, 15 to 17 inches around in there.
Yeah.
They're fun little dogs. They're gamey. They'll sure put stuff up a tree, and and the way things are getting now, people keeping more dogs in the house. I didn't start out this way. When I started out, they was hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And they stayed in the pen, and over the years they've just kind of become family.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like they've got an on-off switch to them.
Yeah. Well, I told you, I of course we had the incident with our little Tink dog, and I had kept a male and a female, and she was doing so good, so I sold the male so I could put all my time into her, and then we had the incident. I was able to get the male bought back here. I don't know, it's maybe been a month ago or so, and he kind of lays around the house, and I put a dog lead on him here, not this past week, but the week before, and I walked down to the woods there at a wood road I got and cut him, and I mean he fired right in there, but I mean he stays in the house and he don't mess nothing up, and he's they just do really good all around. I think whether they're hunting dogs and as a family dog.
They do, and they keep the boogers run off at night, and
That's for sure.
and I mean, well, I told you about the 3 coons out here last night. And before Peggy Sue come in heat, the same thing happened. I walked out and she had one up tree out here.
Yeah.
That's but you mentioned that coon hunting side with these dogs. I don't think it would be any issue.
Yeah. Now I never really pushed my lead dog a whole lot, but I took her a few times with me, and she had no problem going. What she was waiting on though was for the crack of that rifle, because she wanted to kill whatever was in that tree.
Yeah.
They want to get after whatever's got blood in it.
Oh yeah, and talking about that too. I'll use Moon Pie as an example. Moon Pie, fine a squirrel dog as I've ever owned, but something changes with her the bigger the game gets.
Oh yeah.
A coon, I mean, she'll go inside anything if there's a coon in there.
Yeah.
She'll go in and fight it. She just loses it, and she used to be about the same way over a hog too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've bayed and killed a hog with that dog.
Yeah.
But it's funny. The bigger the game gets, it seems like the more vicious they get. A squirrel, it hits the ground. If it don't move,
Yeah.
they care less. She just gone after another one. But now she'll go in after a live one or whatever and kill it. But these dogs.
She's trying to get away from the puppies.
Fiddle wants on the podcast.
Yeah.
But one other thing you asked about my breeding stuff here, as far as line breeding goes, I like a half brother, half sister cross for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I really like to do and I don't know if people tend to pay much attention to this or not. I think they do, but just, I talked about the Booster Hershey cross a while ago. That has been one of my all-time favorite crosses.
Mm-hmm.
I like to line breed to a cross. Not necessarily one male or one female, but the cross. That's like the Toby and Banjo cross your pup's out of. That is today's Toby and Banjo, or Booster and Hershey cross.
Okay.
It just works.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be playing a big part.
Yeah.
In going forward, but
yeah,
I don't know, but no.
Well, if I'm assuming all these that are running around are probably spoken for.
Oh yeah.
So, because I know how tough it is to get a pup, and I think if I would have had my female would have had 100, I think we could have sold 100.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They people definitely want them, but there's a Facebook page if you're not familiar with it. It's called Power by Booster, and hold on, Fiddle. You got my cord. That people can go look, and people post, their pups and stuff that goes back to this, which is pretty cool. I like getting on there looking and seeing who's got what.
Yeah, I can't believe that blowed up like it did.
Yeah.
It's neat to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of nice dogs get put on there for sure.
There is, and and I'm going to say this too. These dogs. You got your competition world today, and it's and don't think I'm talking bad about anything, because I'm not. I think everybody needs to do what they want to do, and these dogs, I'm not trying to build a dog that is made for today's big time competition world.
Yeah.
I'm wanting a dog, more of a pleasure dog.
Yeah.
It may have something to do with my age now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't do a lot of competition hunting anymore or anything like that. But I like a dog that when it trees to have something there, and you turn them loose. If there's something there to tree, I want them to tree it, and if there's not anything there to tree, I want them to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm pushing for here, and not a leave the country type dog either.
Yeah.
I like I say, I guess it's got something to do with age, but I like a dog that you can take not kill a kid with, and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know my youngest granddaughter, me and her, I've took her several mornings with me with our little tink dog that we had, and killed some squirrels with her, and it's a lot of fun for sure. Before we get off here, real quick, in case somebody's interested, maybe talk about the ATFA a little bit and kind of explain what that organization is, because I think it is kind of geared more of the, I guess what you would say the old school coon hunts would be, when everybody would show up and hang out, It
is, which I'm, it's one of them things. One way you look at it, you're blessed, or one way you're cursed. I'm the president, but it's by far the oldest Fiest association there is. We've been in business since 1985.
Okay.
And we're still running pretty much on the same thing we was running on in 85, as far as rules go and all like that. And we try to keep it that way. It's you see a lot of sportsmanship involved with it. We actually have kids handle dogs on cast, and they do well. Because going back to the sportsmanship side, we try to help each other.
Right.
I'll just give you an example. Marty Brown. He's with the Crossfire Kennels out in Tennessee. We're probably each other's biggest competitor, and we draw out, and I mean it's a battle.
Yeah.
But if I've got a squirrel treat and Marty sees it, he speaks up. And there's a squirrel going right there. If Marty's got a dog treat and I see the squirrel, I speak up.
Yeah.
I mean, we compete, but we help each other. Yeah. And it's that way across the board. I mean, I'm just using Marty as an example. He's not the only one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I win and sometimes he wins, but we're great friends. Love each other to death, and when we'll compete all day long, and then we'll go eat together that night.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's a good chance we'll have a cabin booked together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just keep that type of atmosphere, and that
little pup's barking at him.
Yeah, that's the one I'm keeping.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many hunts a year do y'all hold?
Okay. It depends. We have 6 gatherings.
Okay.
We'll say that because some of them we have 2 hunts, and
You're right.
some of them it's 1 hunt.
Right.
Now we hunt morning and evening at all of them.
Right.
But we have a rally hunt and we have a regional hunt.
Gotcha.
The rally hunt, you hunt morning and evening. Scores are added together. The regional hunts, you hunt morning and evening, and that's 2 separate hunts.
Right.
And we start off in early October in Missouri. November we'll be out in Tennessee, out there. It's close to Chattanooga, just west of Chattanooga, there on Arnold's Air Force Base, or AEDC, whatever they call it. December we come to Arkansas here at Searcy. Then January we go down close to Macon, Georgia. February we're in northeast Mississippi. What is it there? Tishomingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tishomingo. We just started there last year.
Okay.
We was hunting on down below Jackson. And then we'll wrap things up in March at Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky.
Okay.
And we, like I say, we have a good time. We average about 25 dogs a hunt.
Okay.
And sometimes we'll be short 1 or 2, but year before last LBL, I think we wound up with 37. So, we're having good numbers, and getting some younger people showing up, and everybody's got their different ideas about what competition ought to be.
Yeah.
And we do ours our way, and not saying it's better than anybody else, but it's just a different option.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people that when they come, they really like it. And seem to want to come back.
Well, a lot of people that say coon hunted back when you started, when I started, a couple of my buddies started, they like the camaraderie of what used to happen at the clubhouse, and that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because there may be somebody like me that's kind of in that phase of, kind of transitioning, kind of doing both things that, may be interested in coming and spectating or getting a little dog and hunting in it or whatever. So that's the reason why I wanted to touch on it. And while we're talking about competition, I don't even know how close you follow coon hunting, but they hunted for $200,000 last night?
I seen something about that on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, would you ever imagine back in the early 80s they would have a coon hunt? They ended up splitting. The final 3 split. Yeah. Each one of them got $100,000 apiece.
Well, I don't blame them. I'd have probably been right there with them.
Yeah. It was 200 for first, 70 for second, and 30 for third. And if the split was 100 each. So that'd been all right. It's just we come from, for y'all's organization and stuff. I know it's not about the money, and a lot of people always said it wasn't about the money, but a lot of people coon hunted for the furs for the money.
Yeah.
And to go from trapping a coon or treeing a coon and killing it and skinning it out and getting whatever $20, $25 a hide for, to hunting in a hunt to possibly win $200,000. That's just, we've come a long way.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's great. And it's, there's squirrel hunting hadn't got to the 200,000 point yet, but
it's well on its way. I think
it's on its way. I mean, they hunt for trucks and side by sides and this and that, and I think there's been 1 or 2 maybe get up close to 100,000 total purse. But
I think the biggest ones, I'm still trying to learn the whole squirrel hunting side of it, because there's different registries and stuff, but I think the biggest one still is the JPI that they have.
I think you're right, and I'm not the one to be talking about that world, because like I say, I not knocking it, but that world's just not for me.
Yeah.
And but it's amazing, and we another thing about ATFA, our motto is kind of, I guess you'd call it a motto. It's all about the dog.
Yeah.
One thing I have noticed about, everybody wants to talk about rules.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's got to be a rule wrote
For everything.
for everything. Kind of like common sense is left.
Yeah.
I think that is our biggest angle with ATFA, that it enables us to do what we do and get along like we do.
Mm-hmm.
We keep our rules to a minimum.
Yeah.
And the way we hunt, at the end of the day, if you didn't do any good, it ain't because so-and-so out-handled me or this or that. The only thing you got to be mad at is your dog.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you are.
Yeah.
I have been. But, we've kindly, like I say, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But we've kind of took the handling situation out of it.
And just let the dogs work.
Let the dogs work.
Yeah, I know when we talked one time before, you said the biggest thing that you're probably going to notice is no stopwatch.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a rule for a stopwatch. If somebody wants to run it,
Yeah.
we got 2 minutes on the tree. But say me, you, and Brett are on a cast, and you tree your dog. Me and Brett have the option to do what we call yield the tree.
Yeah.
And what that does is we're saying our dog's not going to come honor your dog anyway, so we tell you to go leash your dog.
Yeah.
And that's how we roll. You tree your dog, you're going to get told to go leash it.
Yeah.
And, you see you'll get some. I mean, if a dog's setting, two dogs are working the track and one trees, and then one tree's right there with it, that's legit. Takes, get you second tree. But you don't see a lot of second trees in ATFA.
Yeah.
It's all first trees, and a lot of people talk about our scores. Some of these guys hunting this other stuff, they can't believe we score like we do. Well, that's one of the reasons we score like we do. We're not waiting on the clock to run.
Yeah.
We're treeing a squirrel, finding it. The rest of the cast is looking. Everybody's looking for the squirrel.
Yeah.
You ain't sitting there trying to find your squirrel while all these other boys are over here kicking rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a different world from all the other stuff, and I enjoy it and I like it, and going to continue doing it. And
Yeah.
I might do a little of the other, but we start in October and have one a month till March.
Yeah.
And if you're hunting anything else, you don't have, it cuts into time for hunting young dogs and this and that, and I like to just hunt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this fall some leaves get off. Maybe I'll have me or my boy have a dog going. We can get with you. Maybe come down and go hunting.
That'd be great. Y'all ought to come down for Booster Fest.
Well, that's what I was fixing to ask you about Booster Fest. If kind of explain that and how that come about a little bit before we get off here.
Well, I hate to give him any credit. I'm kind of with him like you are, Brett. Tyler Asbury come up with this name.
Yeah.
But
I haven't met him, but I've heard him on a couple of podcasts, and he sounds like a card.
He's a character. He lives about 30 minutes from here.
Yeah. And
me and his daddy was a couple of years behind me in high school.
Okay.
Same school, but we get together. We'll kick it off first weekend of December every year. It's during the break of duck season, so we don't have duck hunters to deal with, and there's a big duck lodge down south of here that I rent.
Okay.
And it sleeps 15, 16 people.
Yeah.
Got 4 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, pool table, or we pile in there and we just hunt for a week.
Huh.
And we call it Booster Fest, but you don't have to have a booster dog to come hang out.
Yeah.
And all, but we normally, we'll have people come, stay the first weekend and hunt, and then they'll leave out or whatever, have to get back to work, and they may be somebody new roll in on Monday or Tuesday and stay a few days. And we really like it because it gives us a chance to get together other than these ATFA hunts, and just hang out with no deadlines to meet or this or that, and we have a ball.
Well, maybe if me and my boy can get our 2 male dogs straightened out, we can come and hunt with y'all and be a part of it. That would be cool to come, and maybe I twist my old buddy Ben Sheets' arm up there in Pennsylvania if he's listening to this, and get him come down and do some pictures or recording.
Yeah. We I always enjoy spending time with Ben.
Yeah.
In fact, one of mine and Ben's buddies going to be down next weekend from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Corey Dick. He's got the little Appalachian Ellie Mae dog. He's coming down to pick up a puppy. He's getting one of them red brindles.
Okay, yeah.
But I've been trying to get Ben to come for Booster Fest, and the year he came, he missed it by a week.
Oh.
He thought he was going to hit it, but it didn't work out.
Well, he's a busy guy now. He's got kids, and he's took on, of course, this podcast and stuff. People don't understand how much work it takes and effort it takes to get it done and edit and stuff. And he does that. He does the YouTube stuff, and now he's bought Full Cry.
Yeah, so Full Cry on top of that. But I was very proud to see him get that. Yeah,
and I think he's done a good job with it, and I think he'll continue to. He cares about the sports.
Yeah, he does, and. And if there's if there was ever anybody that truly respects and admires all different forms of dogs, I believe it's him.
Yeah, it is. I agree. We met him at Autumn Oaks this year. We were up walking around and bumped into him at Autumn Oaks this year, and we've talked on the phone a bunch, but that was the first time we met each other, and he's super, super nice guy.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I really like old Ben.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that boy of his, Charlie,
yeah.
He's a hand.
Yeah.
He came with him when I don't know if there's another kid in the world who went through what that boy did while he was here.
Yeah.
That age. And, he was a trooper.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Mr. Todd, we've been at it over an hour. You got anything else you want to add? Or?
I reckon I'm good.
All right. Well, I've been wanting to do this, and I was coming to pick up a pup, so I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity. I appreciate you taking time to sit down and talk about your dogs and your coon hunting a little bit, and we'll get this thing wrapped up, and we're going to get back on the road headed north.
Well, I appreciate you doing it and all, and we'll get together and hunt this year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Was just a barefoot country kid with a paperback in my hand, reading about old Billy Coleman and 2 hounds named Old Dan and Little Ann. I dreamed about those Ozark ridges and a moonlit autumn sky. I never knew that story then would become the reason why. Now I punch a clock like everybody, trying to make an honest pay. But when that quitting whistle echoes, my heart's already miles away. There's a dog box in the back of the truck, coffee in a weathered cup. I check that tracking system one more time. Tonight we're turning one loose with the collective. Not because we hunt the same, it's the stories handed down to us and the pride behind our names. From a black and tan's deep old ball to a walker hemming on a tree, English plots and blue ticks, Lopards and curse run free. It's an old American tradition, built one generation at a time. As long as there's dogs and timber, that old spirit's gonna shine. We're the collective. From the Ozark mountain ridges to South Carolina swamps, South Alabama pine woods to Michigan's Upper Peninsula humps. Different tracks beneath our boots, different stars above our heads, but every old tailgate tells the same stories about the good dogs now long dead. You'll find old men around a tailgate, coffee warm and weathered hands, talking about a cold-nosed hound like he's still loose in the timberland. The race lasted near 3 hours, he never once backed down. Those old stories grow a little bigger every time they're passed around. Then one old hunter looks at a young boy with a grin beneath his hat. He says, son, these woods don't owe you nothing, but they'll give you more than that. Take care of your dogs, take care of your friends, respect the land beneath your feet. And when your hair turns gray like mine, you pass this on to the next one you meet. We're the collective, a family you don't have to find. Just turn a good dog loose one night, and you'll know it in your mind. From the Ozarks to Carolina, from South Alabama's pines to the hardwoods of Michigan, we're all walking the same line. An old American tradition still alive beneath these stars. As long as one hound's still treeing, we'll remember who we are. Some of us first found these woods in the pages of an old book. Then life gave us our own hounds, our own gravel roads, our own stories. Every one of us was Billy Coleman, at least once in our lives. Now it's our turn to keep the collective alive.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.